Hey, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Walking Away from Lukewarm Living. I'm your host, Zuli, and I have a very special guest, my cousin Mariana. If you just want to say hi, real quick.
Hi.
So, I kind of just want to talk about with her their perspective on love, what we think about it, what needs to improve, what are we doing well, things like that. I've talked about my past experiences and my relationships, but I really haven't given an insight as to what I think about love. We're just going to kind of dive into it together and just talk about it with one another, just feed off of our one another's ideas. So, Mariana, the first question that I have for you, and of course I'll answer it as well, is would you rather be wanted, needed, or loved?
Honestly, I would want to be wanted.
Tell me about that a little bit more. What do you think it means to be wanted?
It's just more than what you expect. Like, when it comes to, like, love, there's just so much to think about because you can't really fit it all into one big word because there's just so much to it. Like, you feel so much and you just, like, yeah, there's not really one word, but as to wanted, it's like, how do I put it in words? Like, I feel like as a person like me, like the way that I see it, I obviously would be wanted because I feel like I've never actually, like, felt love
Or chosen,
yeah. So, like, I want to be someone that's wanted by someone, not because, like,
They have to.
yeah, exactly. And, like, love is just like you love a person because you hear the word love and you're just like, oh yeah, I love this person.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's like you have to want me to love me.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that makes sense in a way.
So I definitely do agree with your perspective on it. If I had to choose one of those three, wanted, needed or loved, I definitely say wanted, because like how you said, when you want something, it's a choice. When you need something, you have no choice. And then when you love something, it's because you have to.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, I love my brother, but it's just like, that's a different kind of love. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to kind of love.
Basically, almost like kind of like force yourself to like love someone because.
Like despite, yeah. But when you want to, it's because it's your choice. It's like free will.
Yeah, exactly.
And I want to know, because obviously we're both Gen Z and stuff like that. What is Gen Z doing wrong when it comes to dating?
Social media takes a toll on it, I think, because like nowadays we all meet each other through social media, and that's just like killing all the like the romantic side of, if that makes sense, because like no one ever just like meets off someone like on their own, like on their own, like we're always guided by social media, and like it's like killing romance.
Like if this girl's like, if quote unquote, if like a girl's this certain body type on a woman is popular, the men are gonna go after that, like whatever's on social media. Like, is that like a part of it too, like physically wise, like like they're ignoring certain women, because we don't talk about that enough. Like a good portion of women are ignored because they don't look or perceive themselves in a certain way to attract the male gaze for the majority of them, not all. And then obviously there's like the smaller population, which is I think what you're talking about, that don't do or say or talk to each other because of the fear of not fitting into that bigger category. So it's like, okay, like if part of this small minority of like, oh, I don't look like her, or I don't have money like him, like why even try?
Exactly.
So it's just like, that's something that I was thinking about recently too, is that because I've researched, I've wanted to understand more about this question: why do young men not walk up to young women anymore? And a lot of people say they attribute it to the feminist movement, to the Me Too movement. And then like now it's like a guy doesn't want to be perceived as creepy or like weird, because, or like she'll be like, oh, like leave me alone, I have a boyfriend. So it's just like, where does that leave the young men? Because obviously we're both two young women, but like let's put ourselves in their shoes for just like a quick second. Like, well, like what do they do? Like how do they even go about this? Like their self-confidence, like what if it's not even there, but they do want to date, like, and they have the potential to love. So like what do they do? Like, that's a hard question, right?
But when I put social media into it, I more specifically meant like about dating apps.
Oh,
Do you know
that's
what I
a
mean?
hot topic too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, people just throw their whole life, not throw their whole life, but like put their life on platforms, and it's not like
realistic.
exactly, and they make you view them as someone else and not for who they are realistically.
If you don't mind me asking, have you ever tried dating apps? And what has your experience been like on it? Because I have.
I
Had
have too.
you have?
Yeah, I have.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh man, worst decision of my life. Honestly,
So bad.
I don't want to do it.
Don't even try it.
I'd rather fumble so hard in front of a guy, like being nervous and stuff, than trying dating apps ever again. Maybe that's a hot take, but I cannot.
No, I completely agree with you. Like, I wouldn't want to do it ever again. Worst experience
So
ever.
we are anti-dating apps.
Yes.
You know, maybe for other people might work okay, but like for me, for us personally,
I need to
cannot.
meet you in person. I need that to happen.
Yeah.
I don't want to meet you through a phone because that's not it for me.
I have a harder question though.
Yeah.
How, for people like you and I, what young women that are more timid, more introverted, how are we gonna open that door for someone?
Wow. That's
Yeah,
a good
right?
question.
Because like we want to be spoken to in person.
Yeah.
But like if we avoid eye contact and we get nervous, like we don't even want to like talk, like how are we gonna show that we're quote unquote available? Because then they might think that we're not even like single.
Or like interested in
Yeah, exactly. So like how do we even allow that to happen for us?
Ooh.
Right. Maybe that's even just like a question like for us to like put on pause and like to think about and reflect about, you know?
Yeah.
Because like quite honestly, I don't have an answer for that.
Honestly, I agree. I couldn't agree more.
Okay, so what is something that give me your top 3 things that you look for in a guy?
In a guy?
Yes.
Wow.
Like genuinely.
Well, since I lack with communication skills, I would want someone to be better than I.
Like
could
more
ever-
direct?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
Yes, a guy that knows what he wants,
Okay.
you know? So
Assertive.
basically,
Yeah.
And honestly, respectful. Oh, yeah.
I think that wraps it up pretty well for you.
Yeah.
So that means that it actually kind of, in a way, benefits you being your personality the way you are. Because if he really, really wants to, if he's very assertive, very like, I know what I want to talk to her, and he
Yeah.
like has the courage to do that to you, I think that'll honestly be something that'll automatically like catch your attention.
No, yeah.
Like,
for sure.
you know, because the reality is like, you know, looks come and go, obviously, and obviously you have to be somewhat attracted, but like
'Cause it's just
if
so
he has if he's brave enough to come up to you, strike a conversation, is respectful about it,
Yeah.
like then you're gonna be like, oh,
Yeah,
like
like-
even if he is like kind of like not really someone that I normally look at or whatever, you'll be like, wow, like that's
you
some
have,
yeah.
like, the courage to come
Yeah.
up to me and like you're this person and I'm this person.
Honestly, I think I can relate to that too,
Yeah.
because I am very much I get told this a lot, I'm very much like in the clouds
Yeah.
when I'm out places, you know, because I've been told like, oh, you have an RBF and this and that, but it's
Yeah.
just like people who really know me, like, no, I'm just like in my brain, like thinking
Yeah.
about like anything, you know, and it's like for a gentleman that doesn't have like that assertive personality,
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard for him to approach me,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I think that it is something that is hard to assess on both ends, because
And I think it goes both ways too, because like
Yeah.
us women also have like obviously it's not like normalized enough for us to go up to a guy. I feel like you know what I mean. So yeah.
Because there's some guys, I would say a majority of Gen Z guys
Yeah.
would not mind if a girl would walk up to them,
but like
you know. But
Yeah,
and
you
then
see
there
it.
are, yeah, exactly, you don't see it as much. But and then there are a small portion of them, they're like, no, like I don't want no girl coming up to me. If I really wanted her, like I would, you know,
Yeah.
I would go up to her. But it's just like, yeah, but you're saying that, But what about the guys who are too scared to? You know, so it's just like, so it kind of makes more sense for the girls who are more timid that wants a more assertive guy to, for that to happen for them. And it kind of makes sense for a guy that wants, you know, to pursue or to make it known that he's interested in a girl, for him to be the one to say that to her.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
All right, so Mariana, so I would say like my next genuine question for you is, how do you perceive love? How do you receive love? And where do you think that comes from?
Okay, well, we all have different perspective on the way we view love and the way that we see it. But as a like an understanding point of view, is it's so much harder than it is, if that makes sense to talk about.
Like, it's hard to explain?
It's so hard to explain what you want to, like, I don't know, like, it's just so hard to talk about to me, which is why it's because of why I want to challenge myself to talk about it, you know what I mean? Like, since it's such a hard concept, like, I want to, like,
explore it more.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, is that maybe I can help you out with that a little bit, is we've talked about, you know, this conversation off you know, a podcast.
Yeah.
And we have talked about how self-sabotage is a very big thing that we deal with. And so how would you say self-sabotage has affected the way that you have received love? Maybe, you know, maybe we can start off there.
Well, I feel like you're not just born with like self-sabotaging. It all just comes from experience. And my experiences have never been like good enough to say that that love is something to me that I should
Allow yourself to be vulnerable.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, from past experiences.
So what you're saying is that you feel are still in the very beginning stages.
Basically, yeah.
You know, because you're not even 20 yet.
No.
You know, so it's just like there's a lot that you have yet to understand and experience with dating and stuff like that. And I truly do feel like even me at your age, like I truly really didn't understand or really have much experience with love, like as much as I do now. I don't have like a ton of experience, but I just do feel like as you get older, the way you perceive love, the way you receive it, the way you think about it has to do, you know, with how you develop as a person. And then I think a lot is I'm learning, you know, like in my psychology classes and stuff like that, is the attachment theory of like, you know, when your mother came to comfort you, like, and when she left you, like, were you able to be comforted, or did you try to avoid her, or were you like angry with her? And you know, so like that's even like a biological, you know, physical sort of thing that has a part to do with like kind of like how we are now.
Yeah.
Even though we had no recollection of it or understanding of how we we got to be that, you know, way in the first place, because a lot of it does have to do with genetics, you know. Because like, you know, like you know, our mother and our father's side do impact that. And then like for my father's side, there's a lot I don't know. And so maybe there's things and ways that we're operating from that we don't understand. Why? Because we don't understand maybe like that part of our ancestry, if that makes any sense. And so like I said, a lot of it is, you know, it's genetics, but like our environment has a lot to do with it. But if we're not exposed to the environment to be able to learn and grow from it, then how is that going to be possible? So it kind of just all wraps around like the way we perceive love, the way we receive it, the way we view it, you know, our biases, whatever, has to do with like the experiences that we have and even haven't had yet. And I truly do feel like the partner that we allow ourselves to be with, that we choose to talk to, entertain, or whatever, says a lot about how we perceive ourselves and stuff like that. Because don't get me wrong, I do know that there is the aspect of someone showing up one way and completely turning different. And that's something that I've experienced as well. And I think that that's like a hot topic too, is like people not showing up authentically as themselves. And then like kind of like to answer this question myself, as far as what I perceive love as and what I feel like it embodies and stuff like that, or rather what I'm looking for is somebody who is vulnerable and, with them, with me and themselves to
Allow themselves to feel, you know.
yeah, and to be flawed from the beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't want a perfect person. I want a person that is willing to admit when they're wrong and is able to emotionally handle themselves in a way that doesn't impact both of us, that it feels like an emotional roller coaster. We don't want that. That's unhealthy. And I feel like our generation does idolize that a little bit, of like, oh, you have to be obsessed with me all in or not.
Yeah.
Or you have to, or if you don't want me that much, then I don't want you at all. I'm going to talk to someone else. And we don't know how to write things out anymore, or just try to really understand like their past, how they think about things and stuff like that. Why are you looking? Yeah. So like on this podcast, we're very honest about the way, we feel, as much as we can, as much as we're aware of, because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And I think these conversations are going to allow us to think more and understand more about ourselves as time progresses. So is there anything else that you wanted to share, or that you feel like you wanted to like hit that we weren't able to, or anything like that?
Well, actually, Zoe, I have a question for you.
Oh, you have a question for me? Okay.
Okay. Is it better to speak or to die?
Is it better to speak or die?
Or to die, yes.
Like, say what you mean or die with it? Ooh. I think in the past, I definitely say die with it.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, I've realized that it's more important to speak. Because the things that I've regretted are the things that I didn't do, rather than the things that I did do. It's like, oh man, I really wish I would have taken that opportunity, or I really wish I would have, encouraged this person in the way that I wanted. Here's a perfect example. It doesn't necessarily tie to dating, but here's a perfect example. About 4 years ago, I think about it from time to time. There was a guy who was crying because he had to put down his dog. And I wanted to go up to him and like literally just give him a hug and tell him it's gonna be okay. And I wanted to do it in the moment, but I couldn't. And I didn't, because my car had overheated. And so I was really like invested in all that.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know why, but to this day, it's something that bothers me. That why didn't I just tell him that I'm sorry for your loss and just give him a hug and comfort him in that moment? Because I wanted to do that, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Even though that's something I wouldn't normally do, that's not something
that's
yeah.
Out of, comfort.
Yeah, so I think now it's like, I'd rather speak and be wrong than not speak at all and not know if I was right.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that's something that goes into dating as well, is that sometimes like we don't, quote unquote, like shoot our shot.
Yeah.
Especially as women, or maybe we don't feel adequate enough to step into whatever it is that we're being offered, because we don't know if we're worthy of it. And I think whenever we have that mentality, it makes us lose out on a lot of opportunity. So I think, to connect everything all together, I think what the issue is with Gen Z dating is that we don't take the opportunities that we should. And we're too afraid because we're gonna mess up, or we're gonna say something wrong. And so I think that's kind of like how I want to end it off. On that note, is just to take those chances, to take those risks, because the reality is we're all really young. Like literally, the oldest Gen Z is gonna turn 30 this year. Like that is still young. The very oldest Gen Z was born in 1998 or 1998. So, or maybe they're turning 28. Yeah, because Vicente was born in 98 and he's turning 28 this year. Yeah. So literally the oldest Gen Z is turning 28 this year. That is so young. We're all still in our 20s and below. So if we as Gen Z as a whole generation have decided that we're not going to take those chances, where is that going to leave the generation behind us? Where is that going to leave us and our self-esteem and the way that we allow ourselves to step into opportunities that we may or may not deserve to be in, but like, it's either take or not try at all, you know, like, and then that's why it's going to leave a small portion of Gen Z to have all those opportunities, even if they don't quote unquote deserve them.
Yeah.
And then a huge majority of us that are not, because we don't even want to try.
Exactly.
So yeah, so that's kind of like where I want to end off this dating episode here today. I want to thank Mariana so much. Thank you for so much,
Thank you for having me.
of course, for being on this episode. And as always, God bless, and I appreciate your time here. Bye.